Well, ladies and gentlemen, now we'll start the keynote speech 1. We'll have a speech from 3 awarded companies, which are Tetrapack Co SPA in Italy, Tetrapack Ltda Montemor factory in Brazil, and Tetrapack Poland and Danube Buddhist factory in Hungary. These 3 companies got the Advanced Special Award for TPM Achievement. Well, everyone, please come to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. So we are here on stage today to talk about TPM in Tetra Pak, and more specifically about TPM in 3 of our factories that reached the Advanced World-Class Award this year. And as you will see, there's a lot of commonalities in the way we drive TPM in our different factories, because the way we do TPM in Tetra Pak is consistent. But the challenges we face are very much different. But in the end, TPM is always the way. So first, let me introduce to you the team that is with me on stage today. We have Cristina Toth. She is printing process manager in our Hungarian plant. Francesco Vescovi and Luca Fontanesi, respectively WCM coordinator and coating process manager in our Italian facility. Bernardina Brandao, he is WCM manager in one of our Brazilian plants. And myself, Joachim Fernström, I'm WCM manager in our Hungarian plant. So let me tell you a few words about Tetra Pak, first of all. So Tetra Pak was founded by Dr. Ruben Rausing more than 60 years ago in Lund, Sweden. And the very foundation of the company lies on his idea that he developed of forming, filling, and sealing packaging material from a paper tube. Today, our customers see us as the leading single-source supplier for processing food, packaging, and delivering solutions and related services. We, standing in front of you today, are part of the packaging business. Our mission is to provide with a safe, innovative, and environmentally sound product to meet the needs of hundreds of millions of people around the world each day. So this is a glimpse of the portfolio that we have that you've probably seen around shops and in your own homes. Our vision: we commit to making food safe and available everywhere. This is the aspirational goal that drives the organization. So it shapes our role and purpose in the outside world and internally gives us a unifying shared ambition. And our brand promise is to protect what's good. It defines and influences everything that we do. And it's a philosophy upon which we conduct our business. So a few more words about Tetra Pak. Present in 175 countries around the globe, more than 23,000 employees across 82 sales offices, 32 market companies, 6 R&D units, 13 technical and training centers, and 48 manufacturing sites that produces packaging material, straws, strips, and other additional materials for filling machines. We here operate within the packaging business and are located in South America, Brazil, and in Europe, Italy, and Hungary. So TPM was started in 1999 in Tetra Pak. At this time, a lot of effort was put on only a couple of pilot factories with strong support from the top management, a lot of time and effort invested in coaching and training to get the momentum going. So as in any big transformation or change effort, these were difficult times. We did shares of failures, but also a lot of successes. And these successes were what we capitalized on to build and to create momentum and enter the expansion phase, which was the second phase of our TPM implementation. All of our manufacturing sites across the globe started their own WCM TPM journey. And with the support of the newly created TPM champions, our own TPM gurus that we had in the company, and master pillars to deliver training, coaching, and auditing across the globe. We then entered the stabilization phase when factories started to deliver consistent results, and TPM just became business as usual. Just as a side note here, you see that stabilization phase, we are between 7 to 10 years after the introduction of TPM. Yeah? TPM, implementing TPM in a company is a deep mindset change, and it takes many years to reach the time when it becomes part of your DNA. Yeah? So TPM, business as usual, in the stabilization phase. And what we could also see is that TPM started to spread around the organization. So from the manufacturing sites, reaching additional material, capital, equipment, different sides of the factory, of the company. They all started their own, let's say, TPM journey. And then in the last phase, which we call progress and evolution, what we can say is that the maturity of the different factories have become so great that they are now self-driven. So for instance, the role of TPM champion or TPM guru has disappeared. And we are delivering cross audits in between factories, because this is the level we've reached when it comes to the TPM methodology. And for instance, my Italian colleagues here on stage today will come to my site this year and deliver an audit. And I will fly to Sweden and do the same. And this is the way we are now working together on improving our TPM journey. Also what we can see, and this is maybe also more remarkable, is that TPM is starting to spread in more, let's say, less obvious areas of the company. So HR services, finance, they're starting to ask to us about DMS and problem-solving methodologies, Kaizen, things like that. So it really shows that we are doing something that is right, yes? Lastly, I'd like to say that GIPM has been supporting us for many years. You can see, bottom right of the slide, the different levels of the converting factories, so packaging business, and the different levels in GIPM. And we are really proud that last year, one of our factories in Gornji Milanovac, Serbia, reached the world-class award.
And now it's time to introduce you the 3 plants just awarded with the advanced special level. The first plant is Tetrapack Budaörs. This plant was established nearly 30 years ago in Hungary, in the heart of Europe, close to the beautiful capital of Budapest. 294 people work there to supply 300 customers, distributed in over 70 countries worldwide. Tetrapack Budaörs is the only plant to produce Tetra Ricard, the Tetra Pak alternative to Tinken. The second plant is Tetrapack Montemor. This plant was founded nearly 40 years ago in southern eastern Brazil. It's the biggest plant among the 3 since the workforce over there is 395 people working over there, and last year they were able to produce 5.5 billion packages on a range of 131 different products. The third plant is Tetrapack Rubiera. This plant was established more than 50 years ago in northern Italy, inside the Pianura Padana industrial district. 207 people work there, keeping a high focus on customer. In fact, last year, we have been able to reach a customer satisfaction survey score of 100%. Our unique feature is that we have a really solid internal national market, covering 70% of the total production. Our 3 plants set the indicators according to the strategy. The local strategy that is cascaded from the global one. We have three kinds of indicators. First, key management indicators, KMI, to monitor the goodness of business at a very high level. Then, key performance indicators, KPIs, to monitor the health and effectiveness of our processes. Third, the key activities indicators, KAIs, to measure the quality and quantity of key activities having a direct impact on our performances. Moreover, our three plants have a common organizational model that is composed by the TPM steering committee, made up by the 11 pillar leaders, to set and foster the strategy and the key priorities. The 11 TPM pillars, ensuring the improvement activities and the use of the methodology. Third, the functional stakeholders, including production, supply chain integration, supplier, customers, research and development department, monitoring and attacking the losses on a daily basis. The zero loss mindset guides all of them toward a sustainable competitiveness, sustaining the market company strategy.
Well, actually, we can say that all our employees are using TPM in the daily basis. As you can see here, for example, the example from Buddhist, they are launched more than 500 teams since 2001. Based on the step, starting at TPM level 1, just focusing on the factory, going to the level 2, integrating supply chain, and finally started to work with supplier and customers. We are promoting now the innovation. As you can see here in this example, more than 1,000 suggestions per year, and we can put and can show in our factory through the factory board, and based on that, we can take someone's and send out to Tetra Pak TPM network. To maintain our results, we have defined a very clear daily management system based on bottom-up approach and involving the main pillars. As you can see here in this example, we starting this DMS system in the productive lines, going to the maintenance DMS, and finish the DMS system in the factory. Obvious, our focus in maintaining the results, but looking for improvement also. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit more about our presentations that we were presenting during the GIPM audit, and I will start with Montemor presentation. Well, after some years working with TPM, we realized that we are focused too much in the machine, and maybe we are not enough working with people. And after 2011, we resolved change this scenario and focus on the people, because it's a little bit obvious that if you guarantee that your people is ready to maintain the machines will be ready. Well, the main challenges was we should do that. We did a lot of benchmark inside Brazil, for example, studying a lot, and based on some principles, we create one program. We focus on knowledge, skill, attitude, values, and ethic. And finally, we have created one program called TAP in Portuguese. In English means High Performance Autonomous Teams. This was totally new concept inside Tetra Pak, and I will try show you a little bit in detail the next slide. To explain this program, I can split in 4 main fronts. The first one, we call it responsibility. This is when we split the factory in 2,273 parts, and each operator is responsible to manage and to apply AM tools in his area. The second front is contract indicators. Every year, in the first day of the year, we talk to them about our strategy and define together 10 indicators that we'll be following during the year. The third one is a developed plan. We have defined 12 behaviors and attitude models to guarantee that we will focus on the behavior of our people. And last but not least, we have one very important part, that's a recognition system. This recognition system is a quarterly recognized, and we can split in 4 main parts. The first one, bronze. If you achieve, you can go to silver, you go to gold, and finally, achieve the diamond. If you achieve the diamond, we can say that we did a very, very good job. I can say for you that this program was really, really important for Montemor plant. We say that in the last 5 years, this was the most important program that we have launched and helped us to achieve our Advanced Special Award. Well, even we work very strong with people, we have to maintain our focus on zero losses. And I will share with you one Kaizen that was presented during the Advanced Special Award audit, sorry. It's called Ramp Up Kaizen. Was launched that when we had a problem, capacity constraints on coating line due to speed losses during ramp up. As you can see in this graphic, our average time was 30 minutes per ramp up. Montemor is the most complex factory in Tetra Pak, and you can see how huge this loss is for us. Based on that, we have created a target, reduced from 30 minutes to almost 18 minutes, our ramp-up time. If we achieve this target, we can increase our efficiency in more than 3%. Okay, after that, we can start with an analysis, and I will show just two examples. The first one is a splice loss due to acceleration hump, and the second one, it's a process variation due to a manual operation during the hump. Okay, let's go to the actions. We define one pokayoke to create. We have created to block the ramp during a splice process, and the second one, we automatized our hump standard based on a very clear DOE, design experiment. We had at that time 4 possibilities, and after this exercise, we found the best one. And as you can see here, in this graphic, was totally different when compared with the first one. And as a result, we could reduce from almost 30 minutes per ramp to 8.45. This is more than 75% of reduction and increase our efficiency in more than 7%. And actually, we are very proud to say that this process, this standard, is a global standard inside Tetra Pak.
So, what makes Buddhist factory advanced special? Well, to answer that question, we have to go back a few years ago when our factory was considered as a rather small factory in Europe with the capability of producing what we call basic formats. So these are the formats that have been on the shelves for many years. and supplying mostly the local market. And considering the changes, the rapid change in the markets, and let's say more pressure to deliver more practical solutions towards the markets, we needed a true revolution to simply stay afloat, to face the future. And this is when the Buddhist extension project started. It is, as I mentioned a bit earlier, one of the biggest and most complex rebuilding projects ever undertaken in Tetra Pak. And this was done using all local resources and using, of course, TPM and early management. So with all the flavors of early management, 25 projects with most of our colleagues involved, we managed a huge reconstruction of the site using early building management, a huge deep transformation of the equipment to upgrade our technologies and change our lines. So 90% of the lines have been changed or upgraded in our factory to be able to produce advanced formats. This was done through early equipment management. We used early product management to introduce more than 60 products, new products. And one I would like to highlight is Tetra Ricart, which is, as my colleague mentioned earlier, the alternative for thin can. And we are the only supplier worldwide in our Buddhist factory, so it's a great achievement. And this also, we also had to employ a large numbers of people, and we developed an early people management route to be able to cope with a large number of people joining the company and bring them up to speed. So the result of that was that in a matter of a couple of years, the factory was now capable of producing advanced formats, had grown a lot, and was able to face simply the challenges of the future. And this is what made us Advanced special.
So let me introduce you a very concrete example for creativity, how we addressed the capacity issue on printing line in Buddhist factory. In our long-term factory strategy, one of our main intent was to increase the capacity of the factory to 3 billion standard packs, and the possible solutions how we can get to it is to weigh what we have. As Printing E ranked 3rd worldwide in Buddhist, it was difficult to imagine any traditional method to solve the issue. So the first possible solution is a standard solution, included a new printing line and an additional building extension, or the second as a creative solution to our engineers try to find a way to have the possibility to upgrade our existing line, to produce on wider material and reach the defined target with that. So after a pre-study, they concluded that we can increase our web width by 25% with upgrading our line in average, and with that we can achieve our target. And additionally, we can achieve our factory strategy already in 2015, 3 years before planned. So about the process, how we did it. We started the project based on our master plan. We followed them. We redesigned the needed machine parts, and it took us 275 man-hours. We followed our master plan, and also we did not have any planned any production stop because we did all the implementation during planned maintenance stops, and we did not affect any customer deliveries as well. As we see the success of the project, we achieved all the defined targets, and our alpha beta rate was 97% as well.
Let me share with you what makes Rubiera advanced special compared to where we were 14 years ago when we started our WCM or TPM journey. First of all, we moved from a top-down approach to a bottom-up approach, empowering and engaging our people that now are proactively promoting improvements. We moved from a faded to a very focused strategy, synthesized in our motto, the radio frequency of Rubiera, 85.9, that stands for our ambition for equipment efficiency in 2018 and our transformation cost reduction ambition for 2018 also. These, in our opinion, are the two key enablers to guarantee an enhanced customer experience with Tetra Pak and at the same time to guarantee and secure our future as a plant. We moved from a pure make pilot phase regarding mostly production to a fully comprehensive scenario, including a partnership with our customers, with our suppliers, and most of all, with our research and development team. This fully integrated supply chain is a key milestone for our advanced special achievement. We moved from basic to advanced tools, tailor-made for the problems that we have to attack, tools such as PM analysis, design of experiments, SMED methodology. But most of all, we moved from competent and professional employees to leaders and drivers that are promoting activities such as multi-skill program, self-learning, AM Step 7, and that every day with their tender care and love for the company and the equipment are showing and paving us the way to the world-class level. And we strongly believe that investing on their passion and their leadership would be key to establish a level up. But let me tell you a brief story on a Kaizen team that we have run in Rubiera and that was presented to the JIPM. As you've already seen, we produce multi-layer packaging material made of paper, polyethylene, and aluminum foil. Polyethylene is applied onto paper through extrusion coating. And in order to guarantee a uniform polyethylene layer, its surface is slightly wider than the paper. This excess is called PE trim, and it's our main source of waste in the factories. This is why I'm telling you this story. Extrusion coating transforms a solid pellet of polyethylene into viscous fluid that is then applied on the paper. There are several key parameters controlling this process. Many of them are fixed, like humidity, temperature, suppliers, viscosity. Two of them in particular are controllable and that are very crucial to the final quality of the product. These are plug position and blade position. These two components are inside the extrusion system and controls the final distribution on the edge of our polyethylene. So the goal of this team was to find the optimal plug and blade positions in order to guarantee high level of quality, but minimizing the waste related to the PE trim size. This is why we run a design of experiment on two factors, plug position and blade position, monitoring at the same time PE trim weight as a process waste and related defect rate. On the table on the lower left, you can see the distribution of the PE trim weight for 16 different plug and blade configurations. This information alone is not enough. You have to cross it with the defect rate. And if you look at the table on the right, you see that not all configurations are actually good. So if you run the design of experiment, we found that the optimal position was 74.8 and 14.5. Which were the results? Well, if you apply these two positions, we managed to eradicate the attackable loss and waste related to PE trim, and we moved from a PE trim width of 12 millimeters to 8 millimeters. As you can see, the team work lasted for 3 months, but after that we managed to eradicate. And I'm also proud to say that the robustness of this approach allowed us to even reduce the defect waste that is related to these parameters. Installing visual controls for operators and alarms, we were able to maintain these results over the following month. And what was the saving? Well, beside the money, I would like to translate it into polyethylene tons. This makes about 100 tons a year in our factory. That is not only a big contribution to our waste reduction, but mostly it is in line with Tetra Pak ambition to a better environmental sustainability and a lower reduced CO2 emissions. And I'm proud to say this in Kyoto, actually. If I go back to the 3 factories, summarizing the results that we have achieved in Buddhist, Montemor, and Rubiera, I would like to say that in Tetra Pak Buddhist, they have experienced a very big factory upgrade, probably one of the biggest that Tetra Pak has ever undertaken. This has led to a huge complexity increase. But this was not done at the expenses and sacrificing our commitment to quality. So beside an increase in complexity, the rate of claim occurrence has improved over the years very steadily since we started WCM. In Montemor, the competitive environment has forced us to focus on productivity. And these productivities has steadily increased since the baseline, and moreover, since we started the high-performing autonomous team work, 2011, this has boosted even faster. In Rubiera, coating efficiency is both our ambition and inside our strategy. This has increased steadily since baseline, and process reliability that comes together with efficiency is for us crucial because it allowed both to increase our flexibility, to decrease our lead time, and if you put these two things together, to enhance and improve the customer's experience with Tetra Pak in general. But our journey has not finished here.
Yes, you are right. And to finalize our presentation, I'd like to talk a little bit about our future. Obviously, we have to maintain our focusing and working very hard to maintain the consistency and go deeper and wider applying TPM. Wider across supply chain, working very hard in our equipment groups, still working with logistics, and start to work more closer with our customers and suppliers. And go deeper in our factory. Now we need to reinforce our robust tools that we are using actually as SPC, CBM, and so on. In working in this way, we really think that we have to achieve our zero loss approach. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. Please give them another big round of applause for the great keynote speech. Thank you very much.